Recording.
Yes. Good morning, guys. This is our last. Thank you, baby Jesus. Thank you, baby Jesus. It is our last morning before the new year. It's our last morning show before the new year. And I don't know about you guys, but good riddance 2020. Okay. Um, I'm like, peace out, biatch. I'm like ready for the new year. And I can't even tell you how excited I am for what's to come in our businesses. Like, it gives me all goosebumps everywhere. I'm so excited because I know I've been doing this for 10 years, you guys, and I know what happens. Y'all just trust me. If you have not been in this industry, we are about to come into our biggest months of the business. And over the next 5 to 6 months, people can double, triple, quadruple their paychecks. They can double, triple, quadruple their rank. Like, I have watched people literally stuck at 12K go 200K after being in the business for 3 years. Like, all of the hard work starts to pay off because all of the seeds that you've been planting, they start to sprout come the new year. We've got it all here at Lavelle. Like, dude, people are going to be setting those New Year's resolutions, and we got something for them. With that being said, if you guys are joining us for the first time on the morning show, welcome. We're so happy to have you. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this link, so save it in your phone. Same time, and we always start out, in case you guys are new with us, we always start out our day with gratitude. So this is the time in the Zoom where you want to grab your gratitude journal. If you have a 5-minute journal, if you don't have a journal at all and you just have a pen and a piece of paper, or if you want to take a note in your phone, however y'all want to do it. But right now, I want you to really dig deep and think about 5 to 7 things that you are grateful for over the last 24 hours. Dig deep, not just the normal, I'm grateful for my family. I get that. Like, something that you have to dig for. And sometimes you're going to find, once you start doing your gratitude every single day, some days it's easier than others to dig up that gratitude, depending on how your day went. And what it does is it kind of brings you back and makes you focus. And not only that, but it starts your morning off the way it needs to be started, right? With gratitude, being grateful for the things in our life that we do have. And everybody can think of something. And actually, I would love it. You might have to dig deep for this one, y'all. Some of you may have to dig deep, and some of you, 2020 may have been an amazing year for you, but I would love to know in the comments one thing that you are super grateful for in 2020. What was one thing that we can say, man, what, 2020 was a shit show, but there's so many amazing things that did happen, and this was one of them. I would freaking love it. So everybody keeps asking me the journal so we do giveaways on the morning show. So you're going to want to stick around to the end if you want to be in the giveaways. And one of the prizes that you can choose from is this gratitude journal. And you guys, it looks like this. It is pink. It just says gratitude on it. It's got a little symbol. If you go put in gratitude journal on in Amazon and scroll, you'll finally see it. It looks exactly like this. It has a band right there that says gratitude, has this symbol, and I don't know if you can see that symbol, and it's like a pink color. Just scroll through. It may take 1 or 2 pages, but you will find it. It's not called anything else. That's just what it says, gratitude. That's it, gratitude journal. But you don't have to have this one. I like this one because it goes a little bit more in depth than just gratitude. And I think if you're really starting to journal for the first time, this is a great way to start. I think a lot of the reason why people don't journal or stick with it is because they think it's going to be really overwhelming and something that's huge. And you guys, this is literally 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes at night. And it's a great place to start. And then as you get into journaling more and self-development more, then you can go bigger. And then there's a book, where is it at, that Chas gave me when I was at her house that I think is really good for people. That's here we go. It looks like this. I think it's by the same person. This one says self-care. But this one goes a little bit more into if you take care of your body, work out, how much water did you drink? This one's more, self-development induced, but both of them talk about gratitude. And so whether this is more your jam. There isn't a right or wrong journal, guys. Like the 5-minute journal is the one that I used last year. This year, I'm using this one. But you can use any kind you want. Really, it's just, you don't even need a journal. You just need a pen and a piece of paper or your phone and your notes. And you need to get consistent with it, because the way you start your day is the way that's the way your day is going to go. So really quick, I'm going to go through what this says. And that way you guys can write this down in case you don't have a journal yet. And the first thing it says in here is today's goal, today's focus. So what is your goal for today? Your main goal? What is your main focus for today? And that goal or focus may not always be business driven. It could be totally personal. So what is yours for today? And then the next thing it says, an affirmation for the day. Do you guys know what affirmations are? Affirmations are things that you say about yourself that are positive, instead of always cutting it down on ourselves. I think we catch ourselves doing that a lot. Oh my God, I look so fat in those jeans, or I suck at signing promoters. Like, think about the things that come out of your mouth all day. It is absolutely insane how much negative we talk to ourselves. Starting your day out with an affirmation is huge, because think about something maybe you've been saying to yourself that's not so nice, and change it into a positive affirmation. Like, for instance, I look so fat in these jeans. It could be, oh my gosh, these jeans make my butt look amazing, right? Like, change those words, change that verbiage. So an affirmation for today. And then it says what I'm grateful for. And this is the part where you want to write down those 5 to 7 things. If you got more, go for it. And if you know, are struggling, at least get those 5 down. And sometimes you got to think about it for a minute. Like I said, when you have days that don't go the way you want it to, sometimes it's hard, but I'm telling you, that's like a reminder that, look, things might not be the way I want them to be right now, but I still have so much to be thankful for and grateful for. And then the next thing it says is what I'm feeling about today. How are you feeling about the day? And then last it says how you're going to make space today for gratitude. So what, you know, how you're going to make time today in your life for gratitude, to be thankful. And then it has an evening reflection. Literally what I just read could take you 5 minutes. And then at night before you go to bed, I love this because it kind of lets you reflect on your day. You know, what's something good that happened today? How was I feeling today? Any notes for today? And then one positive thought to take me to sleep. Because I think that's absolutely huge, because I think the biggest times we worry are when we're by ourselves alone laying there, and all of the things are going through our head. To put a different focus on it and be able to go to sleep that way, I think is absolutely crucial. So hopefully while I was chatting over the last 9 minutes, you guys were doing your gratitude. And again, I would love in the comments just to see one thing that you are grateful for in 2020. We are about to close this door, guys. It is over. The end. Brand new. Friday is it. And when we have our Friday morning Zoom, we will be in the new year, which is so exciting. So what is one thing? I would love to see that in the chat, in the comments, that you are grateful for in 2020. And again, some of y'all may have had an amazing year. You know, I didn't have that. Besides, you know, some of the hiccups, it wasn't too bad of a year. So sometimes you have to dig and sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's right there. So I want to see what you guys bought. A house, Sarah. That's freaking awesome. Like, that's amazing, right? It's not all bad. And I think that sometimes we just have to point that out to ourselves sometimes. I'm super excited for this morning's Zoom. My co-host today, I have Rachel, who is someone on our team. And if you guys don't know who Rachel is, she's amazing. She's been on quite a few Zooms before, and you probably see her popping up with posts and things like that. She's freaking awesome to watch. And then I have 2 sideline sisters on with me today, Becky and Cheryl, and I'm so excited for them to share with you as well. And we had a little chat in Messenger and decided that the first thing we're going to talk about, because normally this is the time where we talk about Lavelle news and we talk about you know, any team news, and kind of we're in limbo right now. We don't really have a lot of that going on. I think like the New Year's when Lavelle's going to go freaking nuts. I was so excited when they did the 30%. I was like, dang, okay. Wasn't expecting that. And hey, I could be wrong. They still come out with something today for New Year's. Like that's how they roll. But right now we don't really have anything. So today, before we jump into our self-development topic, we are going to talk a little bit about getting your act together, like specifically for your Lavelle business, getting your ducks in a row. However you're going to do that before the new year comes, because if you don't have your ducks in a row, that's not good. Okay, guys. I mean, over the last 2 weeks, we've kind of touched on this a little bit. We've talked about, get your dream board done and know what your goals are. Absolutely. But what we really want to dive into today before we get into our self-development topic is more how to get you organized. Because let me tell you what, even if you're a hot mess express like me, and I'm telling you guys, I am a hot mess express. Anybody can tell you that spent 5 minutes with me. You can still find what works for you to get organized for the new year and know exactly what your game plan is going to be. Because if you don't, that's part of your problem. And I think that's where a lot of people struggle with their businesses. Personally, what I've seen is they just don't have a plan. If you don't have a plan to put into action, how do you know where you want to go, right? If you don't have a dream board with all those dreams on them, how do you know what you're working for every day, even on those days that you don't feel like it? If you aren't writing down your income producing activities, are you doing your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? Like, are you working this? Do you have 10 jobs? And so you've got to work it in the nooks and crannies? Or are you somebody that's more centered and focused and likes to do 2 power hours a day or just a power hour? Like whatever that is for you, you need to be very diligent about it, because I'll tell you what, during the next 4 or 5 months, the last thing you want to do is not be prepared, not be planned, and get lost in the scroll, where you say you're going to go do income producing activities and all of a sudden the hour that you planned goes by because you got stuck on watching cat videos. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. I wanted to bring in, because you guys have heard a lot over the last couple weeks about this, but I thought, man, we need to touch base on it one more time because it's here, y'all. Like, this is it. It's go time. There is no more waiting. Like, we are on the edge of hitting the new year, and if you haven't done it yet, it's now. Like, you need to take time today, tomorrow, the next day to get it done before it happens. And since you have heard a lot from me, I want to bring in whoever wants to go first. Becky, Rachel, Cheryl, who's got something to say now?
I do.
I got some. Go, Cheryl, go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning.
I'm so excited. Thank you, Lisa, for having me. But I'm so excited about this topic because I got my planner last week, and I started writing in it and doing my goals for 2021, writing them down, but then putting dates to them. Because I have found over the last few years, I write down goals, but I don't write down dates. And I came across this quote repeatedly. So I'm like, okay, this is a sign. It says, a goal without a date is just a wish. So I have a whole plan every single month, weekly plans of where I want to be business wise, growing my faith, growing relationships with friends and family, fitness goals, financial goals. I have everything wrote down in my planner because I do think that everything goes hand in hand, right? If we're feeling good, we're more motivated. We are looking at our goals. We're looking at our vision boards. We are looking at all the things that we want to accomplish. And that's going to kind of push us through, keep us excited and going, and then celebrating the little wins along the way. So what I've also done, and I meant to grab my planner, is in my planner, I have a little note section. So if I get to hit my goals for the week or for the month, I get to reward myself with whatever it might be that I wrote down. So whether it's a celebration, whether, with a friend, going out to lunch, or I'm going to get a pedicure, or treating somebody to a little gift, whatever it might be that I wrote down as a reward. That is going to help keep me motivated too. But like Lisa said, staying organized and really putting your thoughts and pen to paper on what you want to do, having your vision board where you can see it. Every year I've been picking, a word of what I want to be for that year. And last year it was believe. And whoo, did I have to believe, right? I had to really believe in myself. I had to believe in, God's plan. I had to really believe in stuff. This year it's limitless. I am going to push myself beyond the limit of what I think I can accomplish. So that's what I have about that. I'm so excited about this coming year because, like I said, I'm pushing myself beyond what I even think that I can accomplish.
That's so good. You guys pick a word. We've done this like a lot. Like we've had that like doing retreats and stuff, like pick your word. This is the perfect time, guys. And I love that tip, Cheryl. Like have a reward because I mean it kind of goes into what we're going to talk about after this, but seriously, you got to keep yourself motivated. And the dream board is great because you can kind of go look, okay, these are things I want to accomplish. But to give yourself those little small rewards in between is something that will keep you going. And I'm so liking rewards. Like you dangle a carrot and I'm running. How many of you guys are like that? Like in the chat, like it, and that's why I think we love Lavelle so much because they're always dangling little carrots for us. And we just have to take advantage of those. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Rachel or Becky, who wants to jump in?
I'm ready.
Go, girl.
We're to rock, paper, scissors it. No.
I too, like Cheryl, it's like I have my goals set for the year, the faith, the family, the physical, the financial. And I got my planner like in November. So I'm already set up for January through April because I know that's our busy times. So I have my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I also have, I put papers behind that so I can jot down names, people that reached out to me, people that I reached out to, just to keep, all those names at the forefront of my mind. And then I break it down to the weeks or the weeks and the days. And I have 13 grandchildren. There's 2 days a week that I have my grandson all day. So those days are different as far as my goals. I try to get as much as I can done in the morning, then fill in the evening, and then in the nooks and crannies. But then there's other times, one of my kids will ask me, can you take this one to an appointment? So then I have to move things around. But if I can look at my calendar, I'm a paper and pencil person. I have to check things off. So I can look and not guess at, okay, how many people did I reach out to? Oh, I've reached out to 6. I still have this many more to do. So I have to have a visual so I can check it off and just hold myself accountable. So that's mine.
I always start talking when I'm muted. Here's the thing is a lot of people have a busy life like you do, Becky. Like you've got things going on and your schedule can't always be like, you have to be willing to be flexible. But what you can't do, like I like how you talked about that, because what you can't do is you can't just go, okay, well, I've got my grandson did this day and this day, so I'm not going to work my business ever at all. This is where the people get out of that consistent stuff, is when things are going on in life or things unplanned happen and all of a sudden they'll go day, 2 days, 3 days without working their business. You guys, I tell my team this all the time. Every single time you skip more than 3 or 4 days of your business, it's like you're starting your 5 to 7 years over again. It really is. It's like you can't miss that consistency. So I'm glad you pointed that out, because you just adjust, right? Like you said, Becky, you make sure you do that the mornings, the days you have your grandson, you make sure you're doing your stuff in the morning because you're not going to have the day. It's like making sure that you get you're adjusting. And I wanted to go back to something Cheryl said too, about making sure that when you're planning things out, don't plan things out. Okay, this is where I want to be in 6 months. That's great. But how do you get there? Like literally being laser focused on, okay, now a weekly, this is the numbers I would need. Now I need to break that down into daily goals. And then these are the daily goals that are going to get me to that weekly goal that are going to get me to the monthly goal. And then you kind of reevaluate. So like a couple of weeks in, I'll go, okay, how close am I to this number that I was looking at? Or how close am I to helping, you know, Becky and Cheryl, and you might be helping some team members. How close are they? What do we need? Okay, I got to get with them, and we got to up our game because we're behind right now. Or wow, we're ahead. That's awesome. Let's see if we can push that goal even farther. So yeah, I love it. I love it all. Rachel, what do you got for us?
So unlike everybody else being completely organized, I am an absolute hot mess express. I have paper everywhere. So whenever I'm like, I need to find something, I know where that paper is, but it's not in a journal like it should be. So that is one thing that I am going to be working on for next year for darn sure. But one of my biggest tips also is time blocking. You need to time block so you have that unexcused time that's for your business or for your family, because if you're constantly on your phone, your family's going to regret you. If you're not making that time for your business and your team's not going to be there for you. So that's one thing that I make sure that I'm trying to do too, is the time blocking. So my team knows that I'm there for them at all times, but I'm more distant during this time, and there's those uplines and sidelines that they can always turn to, because there's always somebody in the business. And I always stick by that. If I can't, they can. So if I can't be there for you, my upline will be there for you in a heartbeat. My sidelines will be there for you in a heartbeat. Like, you're never alone in this business. So time blocking is very, very, very important. I also am big on sticky notes. I have sticky notes all throughout my house. So if I have a goal in my head, I write it down. So like right now, I wrote one down just because they're all over my house anyway, so might as well write some more. I want to be 80K by February, at least, because I know what craziness is coming in January, February, March. I don't know the exact details, obviously, but I know some big stuff is coming. So I'm getting prepared. Like, I'm not waiting till the first to just start posting and get into it. Like, I'm staying consistent, at least a post a day. People know I'm still thriving. I'm still with the business. I'm still consistent. And then your goals that you have too, like, I'm going for Ultimate Thriver. So I have $50,000, and you want to write down what it can do for you. It's going to change my whole entire family's life. Like, when I came into this business, I had nothing. I lost everything in the fire. I won a mini. I fell in love with it. And I hit my bonuses and just ran hard because I knew what I wanted. So if you're confused and you don't know what you want, grab yourself a sticky note. They're like $1 a pack, and there's a lot of them in there. You can have them everywhere, on a window, on your light switches, in your bathroom, on your mirrors, on your ice boxes, on your microwaves. Like, it's something that you guys all should do, is have a sticky note to constantly remind you what your goals are, because you guys are all capable of doing it, and I know it. So stay consistent, time block, and sticky notes.
We're kind of alike, Rachel. I'm like so not together. And one of the things that I've done over probably the last 8 years for me that works really well is a 6 list. I call it a 6 list. I did not invent this. I stole it from someone else. But basically, there's something about writing down those 6 things I need to do for my business and then being able to cross them off as I do them. And it makes me feel accomplished. Like, when the whole list is crossed off, I'm like, okay. And that's something manageable for me, especially being a hot mess express. I'm probably never going to be that girl that has a nice, pretty planner. I've tried. I've gotten the planners, and I might do it for a week, and then all of a sudden that planner sits there. Like, for me, it's sticky notes. It's the 6 list. It's jotting things down. You just have to find what works for you. But at the end of the day, you've got to have a plan. Like, there's just no way that you can get to your goals without one. I don't know anybody that's sitting at 200K that said, yeah, I just winged it, whatever. No, they all knew exactly what they needed to do, how they needed to do it, where they needed to improve. And if you guys were on the Zoom the other morning, we talked about, going into the new year, make sure you're focusing on those strengths. What are you good at? and really hone in on those first 3 to 4 months, because you know, you only need a couple good strengths in this business, whatever that is for you, and then utilize your upline, downline, sidelines for the things you're not strong at, right? And maybe that's, you know, talking to closing a prospect, or whatever, you know, your weak points are. There's somebody that can help you improve on those weak points, because there's certain things that you just have to be good at in network marketing, and one of those is is finding customers and promoters, right? Like, you have to get to that place, and it's all about planting those seeds. So have a plan, you guys. If you don't, like, I can't stress this enough, how important it is that you get one. And don't go into the new year just like, whatever happens, happens. Like, look, that's not how you're going to get there. It is not going to work that way. And don't wait until January 1st to do it. Get it done now. Like, now. If you guys want more information on this topic, we've kind of gone over it probably the last maybe 3 to 4 morning Zooms, in some way, shape, or form. I think every Zoom we've done in the past month, in December, has had to do with preparing somehow for the new year. So get those recordings. And if you guys haven't been on our previous Zooms, if you are not plugged into the bot, if you have no idea what I just said and what that means, okay, get with an upline. You need to get plugged into the bot. And if you do not know what the what's it called? Not the leadership lounge. The thingy. Yes. The place that where all the stuff is.
The vault.
I'm dying over here. I'm like, what? It's not there. It's not computing. The vault. You guys got to get plugged into the vault. It will change your life. So definitely check out the recordings of the other morning Zooms, because they're so good and packed full of information. We're going to jump into our self-development topic today. And honestly, you guys, I don't think there's any better topic than what we are about to discuss right before the new year. And that is discipline. That we're going to talk discipline this morning. We are going to talk motivation, staying motivated, how to do that, because I think that the biggest issue with a lot of people, we all know this story, right? It's the story where you're so excited, right? It's the new year. It's going to be the bomb. Oh my gosh. And then the new year's going to hit, and that excitement is slowly going to dwindle as things happen. As we sign somebody up and they don't work out, or we're a month in and we didn't sign anyone yet, and it's not going as planned. Like, it eventually, that beginning excitement is going to start to fade away. It does with everything. There's nothing in this life, I don't care what you're doing, you know, you're going to go into the new year, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Yeah. And you're dieting and you're exercising. And then you slowly, you know, the first week you got up every day, went to the gym, and then all of a sudden the second week got a little bit harder, right? And this is not this topic. The topics that we do in the morning are not just business related. It is life related. And going into the new year, whatever resolutions you have set and for your business, discipline is going to be a huge part of you seeing the success, that consistency, that discipline, and knowing that motivation is fleeting, and that you have got to find something that is so big for you that when you think about it, it motivates you immediately. And I'm going to share what mine is, and then I'm going to actually go and share, or give somebody else a chance to talk and share. But my biggest thing is, all I have to do, you know, when somebody says to me, how do you stay motivated? Or it's been 10 years in this industry, or like, people will say to me, I'm just not motivated anymore. I'm like, dude, all I have to do is think about this one thing, and I get my butt up, whether I don't feel like doing it or not, and I start sending out messages and making friends and doing the do, because I doing my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, my 6 list, whatever I need to do. All I have to do is go back 10 years ago, when me and my kids had to crawl through the back of the car, the only door that opened, no air conditioning, 300,000 miles on it. Everybody was embarrassed. Like, the power windows did not roll down. It was the car from hell. And all I have to do is go back to that image and that time and think, okay, here's the alternative. If I don't go do this, then I could be back there someday. And that is not happening. And that for me is all the motivation that I need, all the motivation I need to get my butt up, even when I don't want to, and do it. And I think that everybody needs to get one of those moments for you. And you could be living in it right now, just getting started in this business. That should be enough fire in your belly to get your butt up and make it happen, even on the days you don't want to. And there's so much more to this topic, and that's why I wanted to dive right into it this morning. But who wants to start with this one?
I will.
Sweet, yay! And by the way, Pink, I love your sweatshirt. Is that orange?
It is. It
I
is.
love it.
Thanks. So I have a couple things that gets my booty out of bed. Like you, Lisa, I go back to a time where I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired of, being broke, struggling, feeling like I was disappointing my kids, those kind of things. How is I going to pay the light bill? How is I going to afford groceries? Oh my gosh, how is I going to pay my house payment? All of those things. Driving a car that barely ran. How was I going to get my kids to and from school? When you have something like that when you think of that, literally, you can feel it in your heart and in your gut, that is going to get your butt out of bed. That is going to push you to be more disciplined. That is going to push you through that self-doubt of, when you're going to send that message to somebody and you're like, oh, and you want to chicken out, right? Or somebody on your chicken list, that's going to push you through and help keep you motivated and keep you disciplined. Another thing that I do also is I write down my team's goals. What is it that they need? And not just, like Lisa said too, a simple why, or, but they're deep down. What is going on in their world? What is hitting 12K going to do for them? What is hitting 4K going to do for them? What is thriving for free that, from now on going to do for them? Because sometimes we will tell ourselves excuses. Well, oh, it's okay. I can stay in bed. I can lay here for another 2 hours. I can not maybe work my business today. There's always tomorrow. But when you start thinking of how other people and what getting their goals is going to mean to them, that is going to help you too, to stay motivated, because now you're helping somebody else. Because we can tell ourselves all the excuses in the world, right? But imagine looking at somebody in your team, or even your kids or your husband or, wife, whatever, and telling them the excuses you're telling yourself. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't look at somebody on your team and say, you know what? I just don't feel it today. I just don't want to help you today. I'm just not here for you today. You would not ever do that. So that is something that I do also, is I think of my team or my customers, helping them. And that's another thing that just keeps me going through those times that, life is just going to hit you and you're just not going to feel it. But those are the things that I use and think about. And I even write down to where I can see them, like Rachel said, sticky notes. So I can see, who on my team or what customer needs what, that helps keep me motivated, keeps me going through those times where I'm just not feeling it.
I was thinking about, like, a lot of you guys probably set some New Year's resolutions. Every year, like, I haphazardly set some because I let myself down a lot. But, like, I'll say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it's so easy, like, whether it's maybe you want to lose a few pounds, or maybe you're trying to work on your health and eating habits, or maybe it's, money for people. It's usually one of those things. And it's so easy to get so excited about things right in the beginning, and then that excitement fades. And I think people are always looking, like, they'll say, how do I stay motivated? Or, I want that same fire and excitement. that fire and excitement is something you have to create. It truly is something that you've got to create. It is not something that is just going to be, you're going to be feeling all the time. I mean, I think about a relationship. Like if you're in a relationship with somebody, in the beginning, it's all, oh my God, I can't wait to see that person. And you're learning all these new things. And then, 5 years later, it's like, they can go away for a weekend and I need my space. Like, where you couldn't be away from them for 5 minutes in the beginning. It's like, you guys, that's everything in life. Everything. And what do marriages take? Work, right? Like there's things in life, losing weight, eating healthy. I look at people that are disciplined with certain things and I'm like, man, how do they do that? And how they do it is they decide, right? They make a decision. I was it's funny because you get to travel and be around a lot of people in this business and meet a lot of different people. And I will be places with people that are so disciplined. Like we'll be out to dinner and I'm all like, bring me all the desserts. And they're all like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, how does this person do that? Like, I cannot do that. And I have to stop saying that to myself because I can do that. I've done it before. It's just, I'm choosing not to. And I want you guys to think about that going into the new year is you're making physical choices not to do something. It is, look at your list of excuses, right? That's an eye opener for me. So one of the practices that I've used over the last 10 years is I will grab, let's say I'm facing a certain situation that I don't want to do, or here's the thing, when you want something, you make it happen. We all know this, right? If we truly want something in life, every single one of you on here has figured it out if you've wanted it bad enough. If you don't want it bad enough, you start to make excuses, right? And so what I'll do is I'll grab a pen and a piece of paper and I'll start writing down all my excuses. And I'll look at those excuses and I'll ask myself, is this a true obstacle, or is this an excuse that I could get around? Could I get around this if I chose to? And you guys will be surprised how every single one of your things are something you could get around if you really chose to do it. Like people will say things like, especially in business, well, it's my kids. I can't work the business like so and so because of my kids. No, now you're using your why as an excuse, right? Our families are all our whys, right? Or you'll have somebody say, well, I can't, like I say to myself, well, I'm going to start dieting, but I'm always traveling and it's so hard for me to eat healthy because I'm always traveling. I say that all the time. That is such a BS excuse. It is not true. I could choose to eat better. But that is the excuse, the lie that I tell my brain to make it okay. You guys have got to stop telling your brain these lies to make it okay. If you are, then you just don't want it bad enough. Whatever it is, the goals that you're trying to achieve, you just don't freaking want it bad enough. Period. Get real with yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I don't want it bad enough. Instead of sitting there making excuses up to yourself, your team, your uplines, your downlines, just face it. You don't want it as bad as I do, or Cheryl, or somebody else that is willing to get around those same exact situations and some worse. I want you guys to think about your situation, because whatever your situation is, how horrible or how your past, or I don't care what's going on with you, I can put someone else on this Zoom right now with your story times 100 times worse that's making it happen. We know it. We know this, right? We know that somebody has it worse than you doing it. They're just deciding not to use excuses, but to get around those things because they want it more. They just want it more. And that's where I was when I started in this industry 10 years ago. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired, asking my mom for money, working 70 hours a week, never seeing my kids, always feeling like I was never getting ahead. Like I was so done with that I was willing to do whatever. And that's why I wasn't going to let anything get in my way. And that find that thing for you guys. Rachel or Becky, what about you guys?
I love this subject. This is one of my favorite subjects to speak on, because when I came into the business, I had nothing. Like I said, nothing. I lost my house to the fire. I had no roof over my head, pretty much. Like I was fighting for custody of my daughter to keep her because of the fire, not having a house. It just was a crazy situation that I went through. So I turned it, instead of my reason why I can't do something, I turned it into the reason why I can do it. So my excuses of why I couldn't do it turned into my excuses on why I can do it. So you say, I can't do it because I have 3 kids and I have no friends or family up here to help me do anything. No, you can do it. You find a way around it. You make things work. If you want it bad enough, you're gonna get it. You're gonna do whatever it takes to get it. You're gonna run your butt off. Like I had nothing and I hit all my bonuses. Like I reached out. I did not sleep. I just like there's reasons why you do the things you do, but there's also reasons why you should keep going instead of just putting yourself down. And that, like I say, the excuses become your reason why, not your why not. So I tell my team that all the time.
Exactly. Like, and here's the thing is I've watched a lot of different people, personalities over the last 10 years in network marketing. And there's only one difference that stands between the people that succeed and the people that don't go anywhere. And that is, it's not because one's more special. I've seen people with no college education, barely graduated high school, or didn't graduate high school, living out of their vehicle. And I've seen doctors and lawyers. Like I've seen the smartest people in the world and people that, like me, are not book smart. And like I've watched both get to the top and I've watched both fail. And the only difference between the two, honestly, was their will. I don't care how dumb I look. I don't care what this is going to take. I am doing this. I'm not going to put a deadline on my success. If you guys are on this Zoom right now and you're saying, okay, if I'm not 12K by June, then I'm done. If I'm not 200K, I've been in this business 3 years, and if I'm not 200K this year, then I'm going to look for a new business. Like, if that's you might as well quit now. Anybody that's putting a deadline on their success, all you're doing is putting off the inevitable. We don't have any control over. Here's the thing. The only thing you have control over in your business and in anything you do is your actions. No one else's, your actions. You getting up every day, making sure you're doing income producing activities, making sure that you made a dream board, making sure that you reach out to your team, making sure you're following up with customers, making sure you're adding new to your network. All of those things, right? You are in control of doing that. What you're not in control of is if you're going to find a rock star, right? This year. You're not in control of if you're going to sign that person that's going to change your business forever this year. Like, we can do all the right things and not run into the right people right now. Guys, that happens. But what I will tell you is that I have not been in this industry for 10 years now, and I've never seen anybody that sticks with this not reach a destination that they're searching for, as long as they keep going. The people that don't get there are the ones that end up giving up, quitting, and setting deadlines. Like, those are the ones that don't go anywhere, because they're so focused on the deadline. They're not focused on the success that they could be having in a year, 2 years, 3 years. Their focus is in the wrong place. So gosh, just remember that. Becky, what's your thoughts?
I think when we realize that discipline is like a whole mindset thing, like if you use discipline and you're thinking about it, you're going to keep going. We don't lose it when we are thinking about it. We lose it when it's not in the forefront of our mind. And a lot of times the mind has to connect with the heart. So like you guys shared your stories, your heart, it's like your whys is why you continue to do what you want to do. We have to protect discipline all the time. I'm going to give you an example. Lisa, you mentioned that discipline, we use it in all areas of our life. Was it 2 days ago? I said to my husband, we spent a lot of money on going out to eat. We had friends in or family in, and he goes, you're right. I said, we shouldn't go out to eat for the rest of the year, which was 3 days. Within an hour, a text came from my son-in-law asking my husband, hey, you guys want to meet us for Cracker Barrel? He asked me and we both said yes. And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, oh my gosh, we just said we weren't going to eat, because it was just a passing thought. It came off our lip, off my lips, so we shouldn't go out to eat. And then it didn't go to my heart. Like, I didn't think about it again until, it was too late. So I think we really have to I mean, think about it all the time. And also when you are being disciplined, you got to think about it as a battery on your phone. When you get to that red light because you've been faithful and you've turned down offers, or let's say you have your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I have to hurry and do it before my grandson gets here. But then someone says, hey, you want to meet for whatever? And I say no, it's like taking some of the energy away. So we have to make sure that we are, and this is what I do. I need to put in my AirPods. I can listen to Audible. I need something to refuel me. Where I have a daughter, for her to be refueled, she has to get around people. Me, I have to, get in my own space and just have my own quiet time. So, and as far as my goal at my stage in life, I'm a faithful person. I mean, I'm a person of faith. And when I read the verse that, and I've read it many times, but it really hit me, it hit home this time, that a good person leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And I thought, I want to be a good person and I want to leave an inheritance to my children's children. So that's my goal. But I think we really have to keep, protect our minds. We just have to protect them, to be diligent, to be, consistent, and just not to let the junk in.
You know what I love that you just talked about is like the decision. We let these things pass out of our mouths all the time. Oh, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do this anymore. But like you said, we're not letting it go to our head and our heart. We're not consciously saying that this is a change I want to make, or this is a goal I want to run after. This is what's going to happen. We just flippantly say things all the time. And I think we do it, and I don't know about you guys, but a lot of the times I do it because I don't want to let myself down. So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to put it out there, but if I don't do it, then, it's not that big of a deal because I didn't pronounce it to the world. But, it's kind of like, and I think that is a huge thing, you guys. Announce it to the world. Go to Facebook January 1st and tell everyone what you're doing. Get people to hold you accountable, because if you're not, let me tell you what, I know if I say something and I say it in front of a bunch of people, are you guys the same way? Because I'm like this. Like, I don't want to go back on what I said because I don't want them looking at me like, oh, she's full of hot air. So I want to let other people know what I'm doing. So at least I think about that. When I think about not doing it, I'm like, okay, but I just told all these people that I was going to do it. So I think I'm going to do it. And I like also, I think a lot of times we either half-ass something or we do it right. And there's just two different types of people in this business. There's the half-assers and the people that do it right, right? It's the people that take the time to do it all the right way. And then, okay, so you've got the person on here that physically went to Hobby Lobby and got a big old poster. They got different magazines. They cut it out. And then you got the person that went to the Oprah Winfrey site and did the online dream board that took 5 seconds. Okay. You've got the person that, and I'm not discounting. Look, if that's all you had time for, I'm just using that as an example. Okay. But then you've got the person that takes time to develop relationships with people in groups, adds them as friends. They're patient with the process. They're getting up every day and they know exactly who they want to talk to. They have a list. And then you have the person that's just adding people flippantly. They don't even know who they forgot yesterday. You guys, that half-assed person is going to struggle, because I would rather have all of you on here be intentional and know exactly what you're doing and be very on purpose about it for 10 minutes every day than for an hour just flippantly doing things to say you got it done. Oh, I did my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Like, I'll put things on our team page, challenges, and I can't believe some people will be done in 5 minutes. I'm like, I'm done. And it's like, this is not a freaking contest to see who's done first. Like, that is not how this works. Like, the winner is not the person who did it the fastest. It's actually the opposite. And so I hope going into the new year, another thing you guys will be totally conscious of is making sure that you are doing it right? Like you might not get everything done on your list, but it will be done the right way. And it's people that don't cut corners and do it the right way that are going to get to that end goal much quicker. Even if I said putting, there's some people that are like, I'm doing all the things. Yeah, they're doing all the wrong things. They're doing all the things that don't matter, that in the grand scheme of things are never going to produce any income. And I think that that's so freaking huge as we go into the new year is what are those bad habits that you feel like you don't want to take with you into 2021? Are you one of those people that are totally guilty of wasting time scrolling through Facebook, where you actually get on to do one thing and then you get off to do another? Like, or are you one of those people that you never sit down with your family for dinner? You're always on your phone. Like, are you putting your phone down? Like, whatever you're doing, be intentional with it and be intentional with your life too, not just your business, with your life. I love what Cheryl said when she said she feels like it's all connected. It carries over. It's kind of like, I remember reading a book, and a couple other people have said this before too, so it's not just in a book, but make your bed. Like if you make your bed, people that make their bed, or if you really want to know who someone is, go look at their car, go look inside their car. You don't want to look at mine. My kids drive it a lot though, so see, I'm blaming them right now. But seriously, like if you are trying to be for the new year, if one of your things is I want to be more organized, then get up and make your bed and make sure your car is clean. Like there's things that you need to do, not just in this area, that's going to help with all areas, right? If you start getting organized in one way, it starts to follow suit. And so whatever that is for you, make sure that you're really thinking about it. And I think that confidence is something that you've got to have confidence in this business. And I think it's the hardest thing for people, because what we tell ourselves, if we're not where we want to be yet, let's say you're kind of stuck in between 4K and 12K, or you're stuck in between, starting in 4K, you haven't hit 4K yet. A lot of you inside your minds are telling yourself, I can't go tell someone how great this business is because I'm not yet making money. I have not yet ranked. So you shy away from it. You have no confidence in that area. Just like the products, right? Like if you're not using them, if you're not excited about them, then it's going to be super hard for you to want to share that with other people and have confidence in what our products are doing. So figure out those things this year. Like it's so important that you guys sit down and you're figuring it out. I want to go through one time with you guys, and if you had to give
Hey, Lisa.
yeah, go. Hey, Carrie, what's up?
Good morning, love.
Good
I've
morning.
been quietly in the corner over here. Hey, I kind of wanted to touch on what you're talking about self-development wise.
Absolutely.
When I came into this business, I would say I'm kind of a meek personality. I don't like a lot of attention on myself. And this business was super intimidating. But my why was huge. My why was not working 20 hours a day and seeing my kids 3 hours a day. And it took me, when I started, I went ignorance on fire. I reached up to my upline. I dragged them into every conversation I had. I didn't know what I was doing. I reached up and just said, hey, I have a friend that wants to know what this stuff is. Can you talk to him? Boom, on to the next one. Hey, I have a friend that wants to know what I'm doing. Can you talk to him? Boom. Use the voice recorder. Let them hear your excitement. But what I wanted to talk to you about the self-development, because it goes in hand with that, I was absolutely terrified to make a three-way message, to reach out to someone, to post on Facebook, to go live, all of that. Like that is something I have had to self-develop into to be able to do this business. And I think that goes hand in hand with everything in this business. This isn't just Lavelle. This is learning network marketing. You have to know what your limits are. If your limits are fear, if your limits are, your weaknesses are closing, if
Oh,
it's talking to people, going live, you know, breaking bad habits, whatever your weakness is, write it in your planner. What are you going to work on today? What is this week's self-development? Download Audible. That is probably the most amazing tool that you can have in your network arsenal, is having that area developed that you are uncomfortable with, and focus on that. Once you get over going live, that's a huge deal. Once you move on to the next section of self-development, you keep going. And the more you learn, the more you grow, the more you're going to be able to be confident, like Lisa said, the more you're going to feel like sharing. You're going to be excited about it. It's going to change everything on your perspective. So I just want to share that, and also have an accountability partner. Someone that's maybe going through the same thing. Maybe they're scared to post. Maybe they're scared to go live. Having someone to motivate you every day. And it's not their job to motivate you. It's not your job to motivate them. But when you have someone that says, you know, you don't want to complain to your team ever. Not like a whiny complaint. But if you have that person that you can say, hey, this isn't working, what are you doing? Or to bounce ideas off of, what obstacles are you hitting? What books are you reading right now? You know, have that accountability partner for when you don't feel like doing it. You have someone in your inbox saying, what are you doing today? What are you posting about? Have that. And then if you run out of ideas, this person's posting this last week, you guys can share posts. You can bounce off of each other. Life's not going to be happy all the time. So having that backup plan, that accountability partner for when those times, you know, dip, you're going to have them. But that's all I wanted to say.
No, I appreciate it. And I'm telling you what, that has been so huge for me over, I don't even know what I would do without people to bounce things off of, without people that, you know, not an upline or a downline, but sidelines that, you know, they're not making any money off me. I'm not making any money off of them. And you're right. People can push you. You can challenge each other to do these things, you know, and you could go live together. Like there, I think that's what I put a survey out there, and that's like the number one thing that people are afraid of is going live. It's so crazy. And I remember being afraid to do a phone call or go live. Like I was there, but I just kept making myself do it. Even though I felt like I had to throw up, I just kept making myself do it. And that's what it's about, you guys. When you guys are going into this new year, the consistency, I want you to think about these things. Discipline is something you choose. It is not going to be something that you feel like every day. Trust me, there are times where I do not want to do it. I don't. And guess what, guys? My paychecks are pretty darn big. And if I didn't do it that day, it's still coming on Tuesday. But do you want to know? I do it because number one, other people are counting on me. Number two, all I do is get my thought going back to that car, crawling in the back seat, and that's it. Like I'm up, and I'll tell you what, I might not want to do it, but as I start to do it, I'm so glad I did it. Right? You know how you don't want to go to the gym, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna go, and you hate it, but then afterwards you're like, I'm so glad I did that. Like I feel so good today. You guys, you'll find the motivation as you're doing it. People ask me that all the time. How do I get motivated? You jump in, you start doing it, and you figure it out, because you will get motivated as you're doing it. And you'll be happy that you did do it. So just know that going into the new year, things have got to change. I mean, we talked a lot about on this, we talked a lot about a lot of different stuff on this Zoom today, but so many good tips, like so many good tips from everybody. Like that's why I love this in the mornings, because you get to hear from different people, and just the little things that they're doing can make the biggest difference. And you know, not everybody's like Cheryl, not everybody's like me, not everybody's like Rachel, not everybody's like Becky or Carrie. I mean, but one of us probably resonated with you, how we want to do it, or something we said. And that's why it's so important, hugely important, to stay plugged in through the new year. Before we get off, I just wanted to ask, well, we're going to do our drawing and we got to do our 100 Days of Brave. But I just wanted to ask, did you guys have anything you wanted to add? Rachel or Becky or Cheryl? Because sometimes when I'm talking, like I'll think, oh, I thought of something. So I didn't know if any of you guys did.
Lisa, I just want to add one quick thing is, talking about like what Carrie said with an accountability partner, in business, find those people like I can reach out to you, a sideline, and I can say, I'm struggling with whatever, have your safe people that that you can say anything to, and there's no judgment. There's no, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's asking me this. There's, that you can go to those people and say, I'm really struggling today with this, or this is how I'm feeling. And somebody's going to love you through it, right? They're going to help you get through that time. Or they're going to say, okay, girl, you got 30 seconds, vent it out to me. We're going to find a solution and let's move forward. Those people that are going to, say, okay, enough, get off your butt and get to work. Whatever it might be that you need, have those people, have those close knit people that you can go to and say, I really need this from you today. I really need you to help me get through this mindset, because that's something that we do struggle with, right? With life, whatever might be going on, but have those people that you can go to that that you're safe with, whatever you say, and that they're going to help get you through it and help find a solution to move on.
Yep, I love it. Rachel,
I was
Becky,
gonna mention,
go ahead, go for it, girl.
I was going to mention the safe circle thing too, because when you find that safe circle, there's nothing that's going to stop you. When you have that tribe of people that fully 100% support you in anything and everything that you do with no judgment, sky's the limit. Don't ever hold yourself back, because there's so much more out there for this world and other people that need you to share your story because they need it.
Amen. Amen. Star, you wanted to say something?
Yes, I was going back to what Cheryl was talking about going back to the time that you struggled, thinking about homelessness, no food, turn off notices and all that jazz. So Facebook has an awesome feature where you can search your own profile and you can select the date. So I just went back 2014 through 2017 before I began Thrive, and I looked up keywords and I screenshotted a bunch of my past posts. I'm going to print them out and post them around my house just as a constant reminder, because my word for 2021 is discipline. So I want to be constantly reminded of what my life was like before and what I want my future to be like. Does that make sense? I think it could be very helpful for you guys.
Oh, I'll see stuff pop up from 10 years ago and I'm like, who is that person? That is such a good idea. Such a good idea. Becky, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah, it changed since I have been listening to you guys. You can't worry about what other people think. We can't. I have been a people pleaser my whole life. And if you knew me 10 years ago, I am not the same person. I saw my daughters with insecurities, and I knew they learned that from me. So I knew I had to change for them to change. So don't let what other people think of you dictate your life. That's my closing words.
Amen. Oh my gosh. That right there is the number one reason why you guys sign a promoter and they quit in their first couple months, is usually because somebody else said something. Whether oh, I tried that product, it doesn't work, or nobody's going to buy that, or that's stupid, you're in a pyramid scheme, you'll never succeed. It's because of someone else. That is why it's so extremely important that you are in someone's ear and you're getting them connected to these Zooms so that they can, as that negativity is coming at them, they're getting all this positivity from all of these amazing people. And it's like they're going to start doubting, maybe my friend's wrong, maybe my sister's wrong, maybe it's so important, guys. I mean, if you're losing people like that, it's because you're not plugging them in. Get them plugged in. And if you guys have been listening to Tuesday leadership Zooms every week, every week, every 200K that gets on says do welcome calls. If you are not doing welcome messages with your brand new promoters and at least 2 or 3 other people, you're missing the boat. They need to know that there's other people besides you in their corner, cheering them on, excited for them. And that in case that person quits, I mean, if you're teaching this through your downline, if one of those new people quit, not everybody they signed isn't going to quit too, because they're going to go, okay, I'll just go to Lisa or Becky or Cheryl or Rachel. Like, they're going to know where to go. You guys, thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Don't go anywhere. We're doing a drawing in a minute. If you guys are just joining us for your first morning, at the very end of every Zoom, we do 100 Days to Brave. It is a book. If you do not know this book, it's pretty stinking awesome. If you want to go buy it, it's only like $3.99. But the 100 Days to Brave we've been doing, I think we're on day like 12, maybe 12 or 13. And every morning that we're together, we read this part of one chapter. It's not a chapter, it's like a thing of the book, and then it gives us a challenge for the day. And I think we got many days left. It'll last us the year, hopefully. But who's doing that for us today?
I've got it.
Thanks, Tiffany. You're the
You're welcome.
bestest.
So we're on day 13, and it says, like what you like. For the spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us the power, love, and self-discipline. 2 Timothy 1:7. Growing up, I wish I knew that I could like anything I wanted to like. I loved playing in the middle school band. I've always been a huge music fan. In fact, I taught myself to play the piano by using a tiny 3-octave electric keyboard and a hymnal that my choir director gave us at the end of 3rd grade. So when I entered middle school, I immediately joined the band. It was a tough choice between band and orchestra because I couldn't decide between the French horn and the cello. While my friend and neighbor Grace joined the orchestra, I felt the pull to the French horn, and boy did I love that thing. When it was time to go to high school, though, I quit because I thought it was uncool to be in the band. My self-esteem was so low that I gave up something I really enjoyed because I was working so hard to be as cool. If I had been brave enough to pursue what I liked back then, I would have kept playing the French horn and would probably have really enjoyed it. Maybe I'd be performing in the Nashville Symphony now instead of wondering if I even remember how to play the instrument. But I thought it was more important to do the cool thing than the thing that I had loved. I needed everyone else's approval since I didn't have my own. I wish that was just a problem that I had when I was a kid, but it's not. At times, I still have to be confident in the person I want to be and what I want to do, even if it isn't cool or popular. You know what's brave? Giving yourself permission to do the thing that you want to do, to like whatever you want to like. That's my hope for you. That as you grow to love yourself more and more, you will feel brave enough to love the things that you love instead of altering them because you think that's what it will take to be accepted. You are accepted by God, and hopefully you accept you too. Today's task is be brave. I love making lists. So today, make a list of 5 things that you really like: hobbies, musicians, food, places, TV shows. Give yourself permission to really like what you like.
I love it. And I swear, every morning when you read it, it goes with something we were talking about. It's so cool. That is just more affirmation that we need to not care about what other people think, y'all. I hope you do today's challenge and make your list. And let me pick a winner really quick. Hold on. Deborah Dunn. Deborah Dunn, you are our morning winner this morning. You can either pick, if you want to put your name and address in the comments and we can screenshot it. You can either pick the journal. If you don't have one, it's a great journal. You can pick the keychain that says punch today in the face to remind you of the morning show. Or you can pick the bracelet that says wake up, kick ass, and repeat. So one of these 3 things. Let us know which one you want, and put your address in the comments really quick right now if you can. And no, but we won't all show up at your house, promise. If you're not comfortable doing that, just get with whoever your upline is and have them get with me, because if you send me a message on Facebook, I might not get it. I hate Facebook lately. One thing I want to say before y'all get off: there's a lot of rumors going around, and Chas did a video on this, and I was planning on doing one today, about Facebook and network marketing, and how, you know, basically TikTok has banned network marketing from TikTok, and, you know, there's rumors going around that it's going to spread to all the. Listen, guys, we don't have to worry about that here at Lavelle, because if you're doing attraction marketing like we teach, if you're just sharing stuff you love, if you're not making spammy posts and spamming people, you're good to go. Yeah, y'all, there's no rule that you can't. And we teach you not to put your website out there, to like give it to people privately. So you're good to go. Like, don't freak out about things that there's no reason to freak out about. Because obviously, you know, some companies that are super spammy and ridiculous are going to have an issue. We won't, though. We won't. So don't freak out about this stuff. You know, whatever comes our way, we will figure it out. We always do. But at the end of the day, I just want to put that in there. I meant to say at the beginning of Zoom and I forgot. Thank you. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Cheryl. Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you so much, Rachel. Rachel got up at 4 a.m. Love you, girl. And it's still dark here. I'm probably going to go back to sleep for a little bit. Not even going to lie. Because I haven't been to bed yet. Literally have not been to bed yet. I started watching some Netflix show, and there you go. What a time waster. Like, that is my thing, is I'm not even putting any shows on at all. No more. Time waster. But I've been up. Like, I haven't gone to bed yet. So I'm gonna go catch a couple hours of sleep and then get to work. But those of you guys that know me know that's how I roll. Like, I get 2 hours of sleep a day pretty much. And thank you guys so much. Carrie, thanks for sharing with us a little bit today too. And Tiffany, thank you as usual for reading this. And Star, thanks for the tip. I loved that tip. It's so good. And there's something about, you can either love Facebook time hop or hate it. There's sometimes I see things and I'm like, oh God. And then there's sometimes I'm like, yeah, that's just like a total reminder of why I do what I do. Super excited for the new year. This is it, guys. This is the end. It is over. We're almost there. Promised land. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys have watched these Zooms in the morning, and I hope you've taken note at all of the tips and the tricks and the things that we've shared over the last month that you need to do in the next couple days to get ready for January 1st, because once it gets here, that is when the ball starts rolling, and big things are coming. It's going to be your year if you want it to be your year. There's nobody on this Zoom right now that I don't fully, truly believe can reach whatever goal they set for themselves, as long as they get consistent and stick with it, and don't half-ass it, and do the right things, and get your why, do the dream boards, do all the things, because it's going to be so worth it in the end when you do. Love you guys. Have a great morning, and we'll see you Friday. Yes, we are going to have a New Year's Day Zoom. I might regret that, but hey, it's okay. I might be on still drunk or hungover. Who knows? Or maybe I won't even drink. I don't know. So join me New Year's Day with some more amazing co-hosts. It's going to be awesome. And I'm excited to see you guys then. First of the year. Woo woo. I'm so excited. Bye, guys. Have a good one. And thanks for recording every week, Brittany. Love you.